What are we to do with Aarya? I ask because 3 seasons in, I'm still grappling, scrambling, struggling to know what to make of this show and unpack the constant, rocky, push and pull relationship I have with it. I often refer to Disney Plus Hotstar's Aarya as one of my favorite shows, and I say that with pride. But now, after this 3rd and final season, I find myself questioning the why behind that assertion. Much of season 3 is too competent, well acted, and thoughtful to entirely dismiss or disregard. I also care too much about these characters. But this show is also not what it was, and nor is it what it could be. Creator Ram Madhvani and team have never quite managed to recapture the lightning in a bottle family meets crime drama potency of the first season. This 3rd chapter constantly flirts with promise and focus and becoming greater than the sum of its parts, but rarely gets there, only to then throw its hands up in the air and entirely fizzle out by the end. What then are we left with? At this point, it's the idea of Aarya that I love and that I'm desperately clinging on to more than the shaky, less than stellar reality. Fair warning, mild spoilers ahead for season 3 of Aarya. Part 1 of this season dropped at the end of last year. When we last checked in with her, we saw the walls closing in on Aarya, played by a fiery, fantastic Sushmita Sen, who remains the bedrock of this series, skillfully gliding between caring mother and ferocious dawn. Here she continues to fend off enemies from all sides, whether it's the relentless ACP Khan, played by a consistently excellent Vikas Kumar, who's made it his central mission to bring her down, or the Russians who are still after her, or rival drug lord Nalini Saiba, played by Ila Arun, and her son Abhimanyu, played by Shashwat Seth, who dangerously dances between unhinged and irritating. To further up the stakes, there's yet another antagonist, this time an investigation by the child welfare authorities who threatened to take Aarya's younger son Adi away. It's a fairly significant arc that I struggle to take seriously. Aarya has a drug empire, armed bodyguards, frequently finds herself in shootouts, and has the Russian cartel and cops after her, and we are supposed to be afraid of Sariwali Sheila from the child welfare office. It's a leap that I couldn't take. Anyway, these final 4 episodes are a constant, strenuous exercise in push and pull, promising and silly, admirable and unsatisfying. Hell yes, and wait, what? A series that feels like it's constantly at odds with itself as you're continually drawn in and flung out of the narrative. After a point, I was tired of being thrown around. I appreciate, for example, that this part 2 opens with a banger of a first episode, aka the 5th episode of the 3rd season. It's arresting blockbuster television which captures the best of what this chapter is going for. The highest of stakes, maximum explosive plot and solid tension. Not to mention a badass moment from the stone-faced Sultan of Swag, Daulat, played by an immensely enjoyable Sikandar Kher, who gets a mass hero entry moment that had me literally jumping in my seat. But the episode also comes with uncharacteristically clunky, awkwardly staged moments, such as a rushed character death and a terribly clumsy drunken meltdown from Aarya's son Veer. I appreciate that each of Aarya's 3 kids are given a conflict here, but the convenience of it all means you can see through the writing. Nowhere did I feel more let down than in the arc of Veer's character, played by an increasingly impressive Viren Vazirani. His arc had all the makings of a potent, tragic origin story of a gangster, only for the writers to ultimately backtrack on that entirely. Something they do painfully often this season. I appreciate how the show wants to explore the moral rot of Aarya's criminal way of life. Unlike Walter White from Breaking Bad, Aarya doesn't necessarily derive joy from her position or occupation. It's merely what she feels she has to do for her children. What happens when the darkness you adopt for the safety of your family becomes the very thing that threatens to destroy them from within? But exploring these ideas culminates in a bumbling, shrill moment of melodrama which sees a drunken Aarya monologue to herself about where it all went wrong. Seriously? That's not who she is. That's not what this show is. It was so painfully clunky and out of character that my brain has chosen to decide that it didn't happen. I appreciate the attempt at giving the show a fitting send-off. But Ram Madhvani and his writers Khushbu Raj, Amit Raj and Anu Singh Chaudhary have their sights set squarely on speeding to the finish line, furiously hurtling towards the end, even if it means sudden hard character pivots and easy resolutions. Careful character development and patience be damned. The problem is not the ending they've cooked up as much as it is how it gets there. It's almost as if they don't want to journey there thoughtfully, organically. They just want to arrive there and be done with this. It reminded me of the unfortunate final season of Game of Thrones and Khaleesi's arc in particular, Did I love where she ended up? Not particularly, but I could have bought it had they given it more care and time than a single rushed episode. There's a fiery moment in the penultimate episode which sees Aarya clenching the throat of an elderly woman who dares to mess with her family. Aarya has her pinned up against a wall as fear floods the woman's face. That moment felt more honest than any of what follows in the unfortunate series finale. A finale that involves a chaotic, poorly staged, hot mess of a shootout that culminates with you going, wait, what? What, was that it? Seriously, did I miss something? Surely that can't be it. To craft a fitting end to a story is to do more than just neatly, hurriedly tie up loose ends. The conclusion we get here is not entirely insincere as much as it is a real shame. You know something is off when your journey with a character you care for deeply comes to a close and you feel not much. Aarya Serene, the dreaded Sherni herself, the deadly weaponized cocktail of womanhood, motherhood and mafia, was robbed of what she truly deserved, the sense of an ending. You can watch Aarya Season 3 on Disney Plus Hotstar. What did you guys think of the final season of Aarya? Let me know in the comments below, but also go easy please, as in just be nice, just handle with care, okay? I'm a fragile, especially after this season.
दोस्तों, स्क्रीन राइटिंग बड़ा मुश्किल काम है और कई बार लिखते लिखते आज भी इतने सालों के बाद भी मैं अपनी राइटिंग में फंस जाता हूं। अगर आप स्क्रीन राइटिंग के फंडामेंटल्स को जानते हैं, आपने स्क्रीन राइटिंग के कई कोर्सेज भी किए हुए हैं और आप एक अनुभवी राइटर हैं, फिर भी आप फंसेंगे। और जब भी आप फंसें, हमारे साथ 2 घंटा बिताइए। हमारा ये 2 घंटे का कोर्स है FC क्लासरूम की तरफ से स्क्रीन राइटिंग मास्टर क्लास। ये कीजिए और शायद आपको एक रास्ता दिख जाए।